Texting. Mayday, 019er. Welcome back to the mid-sack. The highly questionable one, the shameless one, back for night 2. Missed him. Glad he's down here for the birthday weekend for my daughter who turns, dare I say it, lucky number 13.
And this may be the most insane 13-year-old girl's birthday party I have ever seen.
Dear God.
The sheer yelling.
For
no reason at all.
Just yelling. Just yelling. Screaming.
Screaming.
Like horror movie screaming.
Yes.
Just screaming. You know.
And they're watching Scream.
They're watching Scream, which is fitting, given all the screaming that's been going on. Yes. Anyway, this is the mid-sack on a slug 'em down Saturday into a sip 'em slow Sunday. Mm-hmm. Here in the mid-sack. Not a bad day today.
Drink up, folks. Life is short.
Overcast, 75, 70. It was pleasant.
Nice day.
It was pleasant.
Actually, very nice. Look at this way.
Pleasant fall day.
One of the nicest days because it was shorts weather, even though it was the fall. Mm-hmm. And you got to love that. When you get a little bit of a nice 70 degrees, a nice little overcast day. Yeah. You know, still sunny.
Slight offshore breeze.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely. This way, it wasn't anything you couldn't do outside today.
Level things off. And by the way, on the sports calendar, 2-0 in the Migliaccio household today. The Stingers, the Dynastic, dare I say, dynasty in the making. Stingers, who already have one undefeated season, are in the midst of a second one. And this time, they have yet, after 5 games now, Pete, to yield a single goal.
Mm-hmm. I saw them live, folks, today.
He can now, with his eyes, he say, I have seen the back line.
I have.
He has seen, actually, he written Pennywise. From Pitbull Penny to Pennywise. I like it. We're going to upgrade that. Pennywise. Vicious Vic. Kid Ray. Mm-hmm. And then carton of eggs. But today, a few of those eggs got broken, dare I say.
They did. Now, I will first...
They did.
Make this disclaimer, if you will. I will never get that hour and a half of my life back for watching, 12 and 13-year-old girls soccer. Let me just start with that. After that, though, because it was my beautiful niece, goddaughter.
They won 7-0.
And they were awesome. They were great.
A spirited game.
It was a very spirited game.
It was a spirited bum blasting, dare I say. They bent them over. We're polite enough to say, would you like some lube with this? And took care of business. Okay?
It was about as exciting as you'd expect it to be, is how I'll word it. Mm-hmm. And that's enough,
The Izzo clan, again, was hoping for a Donnybrook, but no. No such Donnybrook is possible when the dynasty is rolling. Mm-mm. And they are rolling right now.
Yeah, they killed
them. 5 games, they've got like 40, I think they have like 44, 45 goals. And Tom will tell you they shoot less than 50%. They missed the open nets more.
Well, I also saw.
You saw that too, didn't you?
I saw it today.
What should the score have been?
3 of the goals that I saw today literally rolled very slowly, I might add, by the goaltender. It wasn't like a little speed wouldn't have saved it. She didn't get blown away by a heat seeker. We're talking about
3 of these.
What looked to be a 5-year-old kick.
But how many open nets did they miss?
Oh, it's funny. They missed some obvious ones. I'm like, how did they miss that?
Tom knows.
But then the goalie, they just kicked balls towards her from 25 yards away, and they go in. They weren't heat seekers either; just regular kicks. And this kid just was like, right by her.
They had the wrong netminders today.
I don't.
What was the name of that team? Ben Over? Was that their name?
Dead on Arrival? DOA?
DOA. Yep, DOA.
Because they truly
DOA.
were. And that's the last of the boring sports talk we'll give you.
Short bus. So 7-0 Stingers. Hey, by the way, then right after that, the Bulldogs, Clover Hill, solid 20-0 shutout on the gridiron this morning. Which led us into the college football afternoon. Number 1 Alabama went down
to Vanderbilt out of absolutely nowhere. The
Tennessee.
Commodores were 2-2. They weren't even 4. It wasn't even.
But they almost upset. Who was it? Georgia.
They did. You know who else almost upset Georgia?
Actually,
Kentucky.
Kentucky did upset Georgia.
Actually, they did, right? Yeah.
No. They too, but they lost. Alabama beat them. I'm sorry, you're right. Alabama.
Kentucky almost beat Georgia this year, though.
Yeah, they did. Lost by 2
And then
points.
Alabama did beat Georgia.
Actually, they missed a field goal at the end to win it.
Yeah.
But anyway, and then today, Bama. Look at the SEC is wide open. I don't know what to say. It's wide open. How do you explain this? It's wide open, and that's going to make this playoff wide open.
I will say this is the first year, and you probably feel the same way, RJ. Let me know if you do. This is the first time in a long time where there wasn't a clear-cut number one, a team that you were like, or 2 teams that weren't like ahead of the rest by a
everyone
lot.
assumed-
It's usually Bama and Clemson, Georgia, and
Everybody
Clemson.
assumed it was Georgia.
Yeah, they did, but
And they have looked nothing like
that's
that.
been proven very early in
Very,
this
very
college
wrong.
football season.
Because Georgia, at this
They're,
point, could have lost more than once this season.
They could have. They could have. And
So,
don't get me
already.
wrong, they show signs of being that Georgia team that's every bit as ferocious as they can be. But
Every bit the two-time, in the last 3 years, national champion, yeah.
yeah, but this year's it's a wide open gauntlet, and also because of the 12, it's actually the best time to have. This is why you have this playoff, because right now I know because I've sat through this over the years. When I used to be Big 8 and then Big 12 with Nebraska, and now they're Big 10. But we used to watch, and because there were no playoffs, my brother, who back then, were you were a Notre Dame college fan?
I'm still Notre Dame college fan. You know why? Bobby Cap.
No, I know, but you remember back then
Did you see
we'd
Bobby
always
Cap's ring?
Yeah, I did. We'd always argue.
era.
We'd always argue, not just me and him. I mean, everyone we knew collectively argue about who deserves to go to what bowl game. And I mean, it was the only thing that was good. The bowl games were exciting, at least, because every bowl game you had to watch because they never had 1 against 2. It was so rare to get 1 against 2 that lined up in the so bowl game. It didn't happen.
It was so.
The Rose Bowl was
And
automatic
finally-
Pac-10
and then
against Big
Ten.
Ten.
The BCS changed that part of it.
They did. They changed it.
But
made
they
the
still didn't implement a playoff.
No, and this year, with there really not being a clear-cut number one, who is it right now? Is it Texas again? Because Bama lost tonight,
Yeah.
right? Texas
Yeah,
is
Texas
in
still
2, and they're
undefeated.
undefeated
Yeah,
still.
so I'd say
But
it's Texas
they're
again.
they're the Big Ten, right?
No, they're in the
They're SEC, so
yeah,
their
this
schedule's
SEC
loaded,
this SEC
and they still got to
conference.
play a championship game. Even if they ran the table, they
would-
got to play a championship
I
game.
would almost bet. Look, I would almost bet that of the top 10 picks in this year NFL's draft, I bet 8 of them come out of the SEC.
Oh, they definitely do. Well, the other thing is, too,
Beasts.
this is the
they
part
got beasts
that's
all over that conference.
This is
every
the only
team.
part that's a little bit tricky about the playoff. I learned this from playing college football 2024. Is that when you get to the playoff round, if your conference isn't considered more powerful, they don't give you
An automatic bid.
no.
There's only 4 of
So
them.
yeah, but it's supposed to be. There's 5 power conferences though.
They're not. The Pac-10 broke up. That's why it's not. There's only 4. There's 4 automatic bids, and that's it. 8 at large.
Yeah, but I kept getting moved out even though I was number 1. I'd get moved out for another conference. So
Get out, you bum!
I'm like, I haven't lost the game yet.
Get out, you're trash.
But anyway, the good news was though that I saw from it. There's no way you're not getting the best team because even you got to win a minimum with a bye 2 games, a minimum.
Yeah.
If you're a regular seed, not one of the top 4, you got to win 3 games against top tier competition. And that is really, really hard. It's funny because we see that in the NFL every year and we kind of take it for granted. But in college football, you got a lot more. You have, what is it, 200 and something Division I schools?
318.
Is it 318 now?
Yeah.
318 division. Is that 318 programs?
300
in football?
318 1A schools.
1A
I
schools.
believe.
So obviously a lot more competition there. I mean, obviously we know the top 25, and you get your power football schools, get all that. But then you get out of nowhere, schools like Kentucky all of a sudden are having a good year. And they're a basketball power, or traditionally a basketball
I
powerhouse.
mean, actually, you know what? I'm wrong. It's not that many. It's not that. There's 1 and 1 A and 1 double.
Double A, yeah. I was
So
going to say, I think
not
it's
that many.
200 and
It's
something.
like 200 and something.
Yeah.
I think he's right. Yeah. I'm thinking both.
I think it's 231, but I could be wrong.
Whatever. Yeah,
But either way, I love the tournament part. Look at this way. Why do we love the NCAA tournament?
This is going to be
March Madness is still one of the best sporting events
This
ever.
is going to be that on a football field.
which makes it that much
And
more
that's why I said
enticing.
we were talking about it inside because 1AA does the 16-team tournament. How long before they go to 16?
I don't even think, as long as they're 12's enough. You
I-
have the number 1 team in the top 12.
16 is perfect. You know why? Because nobody's bitching it. If you're not in the top 15, you don't belong. You don't
Well, the one thing I like about
You don't
the
belong.
I'm just saying this. This is the only thing I don't like. That I like about the top 12 over a top.
We just saw.
Shall we
today.
say 64? 64 I love because you can get a Cinderella story.
You can out of 16 too, though.
But 16's really your best 16. I mean, you're getting great
But
teams.
think about it though. You'd have. Think about it.
I'm saying
You would have-
the worst teams are ranked
You have
team.
4 automatic bids, right, and 12 at-large bids. Like, do you know what that?
Oh, it's
could do?
great.
Oh my god.
But don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying
In a
is,
one-game
even the
scenario?
worst team in that scenario is a good team.
I know.
I mean,
But
you know
this
what I
is
mean? There
the
are no
thing.
pretenders.
The 1AA playoff is awesome every year, college football. It's awesome. It's perfect.
It is.
And with the money, this is what you say. They're going to figure out when the money comes in. They're waiting to see how big is this going to be.
To be
and then they're
huge.
going to be like, we could go.
And I also love the idea of moving the bowl locations every year. So that everybody
this
plays.
is where the March Madness feel. What makes the NCAA tournament, men's March Madness and women's great, is because they're neutral sites.
Yeah.
In a one-game scenario, and then you got to win twice in a weekend against two. You don't have a lot of time.
Well, the other thing is too,
it's so hard to win.
You can
6
play.
games in a row.
You can play round one in AT&T Stadium.
Yep.
The next round in, if it depends on who you're playing, you could be at College Station, and then the final game
where the Raiders play.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Or SoFi.
No, hold up. Oh no, I'm sorry. I forgot the bowl games. You're going to be playing at either the Rose Bowl, which is Pasadena.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. You're going to play in the Orange Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, or the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah.
And that Cotton Bowl is held at AT&T Stadium.
Yeah.
Where's the Sugar Bowl held? Oh, the Superdome.
The Superdome.
So you're playing at these 4 crazy, gigantic football stadiums.
No, I'm saying this. They got it. Look, I'm going to love this 12-team playoff, but I can't wait for 16.
I think it's going to. I think it's
Sweet,
going to be.
gotta call
I
it
think
the
12
sweets.
is going to be amazing.
It
It's
is
gonna be
amazing,
great.
but I think
It's
16 is even going to be better. So, because then you really can with those neutral sites. You.
Oh, I'm
really
just
have
simply
fun.
saying it's semantics. Either way, it's going to be a great.
Saying that the money this is going to generate.
Oh, it's going to be crazy. And I thought the bowl games already generated.
The thing
money.
about it, these greedy pricks that ripped off these kids for decades never put 2 and 2 together when it came to football. It's just like, why don't we just have a tournament like the men's? But look at how much money that generates.
Well, you know why they didn't, and you know why? Because at the time, you could get more schools involved and paid in bowl games. And it left, we know it's not true. Like, if you went to the Las Vegas Bowl, you're obviously not as good as the person who made the Cotton Bowl. I know that.
No
but at
one
least
cares about the
everybody,
toilet
no,
bowl.
well, the schools do, though, because they can make money
No
off
one
it.
cares about the salad bowl.
Nobody cares about it, but except
No one cares about the pudding bowl.
RJ, except for the people from the school who are going to the pudding bowl. Whoever that may be.
Well,
at
that's
least
why-
their own school has something to watch.
At least no, but if I'll tell you where those bowls would matter, because if you had, believe it or not, because you had a 16-team playoff, you're like, all right, well look, then there's somewhere 18 through 25, in the top 25. Then those bowls matter. You want to see if you finish in the top 25.
The only problem is the reason it works now because
Helps
you're
with
not,
recruiting.
the top. What are the? It's only the top 4 are at bowl sites. The second round is played in bowl games, so it's actual bowl games in the second round.
The four teams that have buys all play at home in their first game.
And but it's all in a bowl game. It's a bowl game. Their first home game because it's a winner. They're playing the winner of. They have buys, like you said.
Yeah.
So they're the winner of who they play is in a bowl game. Those 4 games are all bowl games.
Yeah.
It's sugar, orange, cotton,
Yeah,
and rose,
and rose,
and fiesta can alternate. They
Fiesta.
rotate it in. Fiesta Bowl might even get the. No, they just call the national championship the national
I think the
championship
Fiesta
game,
Bowl is
and they hold it. I don't
had-
even know where's it being held this year. Do we know?
I don't know, but that bowl is spectacular. The Fiesta
What?
Bowl.
It is.
I love it. That is the game that never disappoints.
It really doesn't.
They always put 2 good teams in that game. It never fails.
You know what game I used to like, and they got rid of it because obviously the company went away. I used to love the Blockbuster Bowl because that always got like Oklahoma and Penn State, like 2 like old school, really good football teams that just got screwed out of playing in the Cotton Bowl
I would
or the Fiesta or the Orange.
the Sugar Bowl is the other one that never misses.
No,
Never
No, I always get a team of Texas.
Yeah, it never misses.
You get one of those. You get A&M, Texas,
So
any one of those
the
teams.
Fiesta Bowl and the Sugar Bowl to me are the 2 that have never missed in my lifetime. Never. So, but anyway, I'm looking forward to this playoff. He is, and a lot of things are going. And right now, you got Michigan tied at 17 with Washington. You have number 4 Tennessee losing to Arkansas. It's early, but they're losing 3-0. But still,
My boys, Nebraska, took down the undefeated Rutgers team.
Scarlet Knights.
The Scarlet Knights of
Scarlet
Rutgers.
Knights of Rutgers, New Jersey.
Took them down, so
them
Nebraska's
down.
now moved to 5-1.
Yes.
Moving up they'll be ranked, I believe, this week.
They will, I think.
So we'll see what they can do to maybe surprise people, maybe get near the top 12. Probably not, but you never know.
No, you never know.
You never know. And they're in the Big Ten, so they're gonna play enough. They're gonna run into the right teams.
I mean, they
They're gonna play Ohio State. They're not gonna beat Ohio State.
Ohio State. Well, again, Ohio State. I don't know about this quarterback. They look good so far. They won 35-7. Again, they beat a nobody.
Yeah.
So it's just like.
No, I know. I'm just.
I mean, Penn State to me is going to be their toughest test in this conference. Penn State is the second most, at least on paper.
no, Michigan.
Michigan's not. No, they lost. They're still good, but they've lost a lot of pieces. They're not what they were last year. They already lost a game at home to USC, who got beat. So the thing is, like the with the 12-team playoff. What I was trying to say was they should have done this. So I can't understand how these guys who are so greedy for money didn't figure this out sooner.
Well, you know what I'm still concerned
They're
about?
watching their basketball peers rake in, that just clean up every fucking spring.
Know what they haven't? Know what I haven't talked about yet, and I'm kind of concerned about it. Is are any players, like potential players that are going to get drafted number 1? Are any of these guys thinking of sitting out now with a playoff system in place? Or they all now want to?
They want to play now.
I'm hoping they do.
Because this is going to be a true champion. This is going to get set. This is the thing. All athletes want is that they get to settle it on the field, on the court, on the ice, on the diamond. That's all they ask for. Just let us decide it. And they're finally really doing this.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping
what it tells me is, and this is why on the men's side they don't sit on the basketball. It tells you there's going to be a true national champion. This is going to be a legit champion. It's not going to be something where it can be. They're going to win on the court. Or on the field in this case. They're going to have to go through three games to win it. And they're going to be different teams, different
teams. You know, it's something I like about it, too. It could just be the hottest team. If
this is the thing.
That could be. 3 wins in a row at the right time.
College football is an uncharted water. There is no program that's got any experience in this capacity.
No, your players are new every 4 years. They just are.
Not one coach that's at the college level has ever gone through a playoff like this. This is new ground. There's no advantage here. This is really going to be interesting. You can't sit here and, I know the 4 get to the bye, get a game at home, but again, to his point, it's matchups.
It is. That's the other thing, too.
You could get the wrong one.
Look at it this way. I remember just from the old days. Oklahoma and Nebraska were used to playing each other. Florida State and Miami are used to playing each other.
That was a sick rivalry back in the day.
All of a sudden, you're going to play Miami against Oregon, or Washington against Alabama out of nowhere. They're not used to seeing each other.
USC against Georgia.
That's a great game because we don't know. Neither team knows much about each other.
I'm just saying. No, this is the thing. Like these are the games they're going to make these matchups very interesting. But my thing is, this is going to be the first true champion. Yeah. The Final Four was good, but there was still every year there was 3 or 4 teams that had a gripe. Now you can't.
Well, you know what I love about college football, and you and me have talked about this before off the air, because you agree with me with this too, because it changes the way the game's played. Mm-hmm. I love that in college football, they don't care. They're just going to do what they can to win. So you can win with just a running game in college football. If that's what you are, you're a running team, you're going to run. And the pros, they try to turn you, even if you're not good, you try to be a passing team. You know what I mean? They made it that way.
That's the way the game
how
is
it is.
now.
So if you're terrible and you can't pass, forget trying to run. They won't even let you do that.
The touchdown pass is a lot sexier than the touchdown run. It just is.
Barry Sanders begs to differ.
I'm not saying there aren't exceptions to the rule, okay? But by and large, there's something about a 70-yard bomb. You hit the guy top speed, and he's in a race with this other guy who's super fast to get this ball.
Oh, I'm not saying, but I'm like you.
And by the way, that's hard to complete a pass.
Yeah, but you and me also grew up in literally the heyday, the golden age of running backs. You don't think it was awesome when Walter Payton and Eric Dickerson and Tony Dorsett were tearing it up?
I loved. To me, I think there's a happy medium. I want to see balance.
I mean, Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith, what a golden age that was to watch of running backs.
What I loved about the Patriots was at times they had both during that time.
They had Corey Dillon. He was great.
They had Antoine Smith. They had other running backs that could deliver. They had what's that dude? The last 3 that Garrett the big
Garrett dude. LeBlanc
LeBlanc or Garrett. Yeah, him. They had got these battering ram backs to go with these super quick receivers, and they even had the great tight end. They've had everything.
Well, this is what I don't like.
They even had the kicker.
What I don't like about the NFL, what's happening to it, is you should be run and pass. The most balanced teams are the best teams. That's always been the case.
I mean, history will show the Patriots, when they look back on that 20-year run, the names. The only
reason you might see something like it again is because they're going to change the rules of the game.
Well, they already are.
And they're already doing that
the Patriots won the first 3 before the rules changed.
I know.
Then Bill Polian. Remember, it was Bill Polian who cried. Peyton Manning, that was the GM and he was on the committee. And because the Pats cornerbacks were beating up Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne, and Peyton couldn't get it.
And don't forget, the Patriots' 3 Super Bowl wins are pretty far apart. So it took them a while to adjust to the rule changes.
Well, they still won.
They did. They've always been winning. But I think it took them a little while to adjust to the rule changes a little bit.
Well,
because they were a physical, hard-hitting team.
The coach had to make that. It's him.
Yeah.
Because the players coming in are used to that. It's the coach has to adjust his philosophy because Belichick's an old-school coach.
Well, it's every coach, too, though, because every coach now has to deal with these receivers being able to...
But the younger ones are doing it easier because they just come up with
it's all they know.
It's all they know.
Yeah.
So it's the older guys that are having to adjust.
I mean, that was the thing today. I was watching Nebraska play in Rutgers. Nebraska doesn't run the option anymore.
No.
They just don't. They play a pro style football game.
Yep.
They still run more.
They have
They
a
run,
very good quarterback.
but they have a great quarterback this year, and he can throw.
He's young.
Raiola is his name.
He's
His father was one of the best centers Nebraska ever had, and now his kid's a 5-star.
He's a 6'5" quarterback.
Yeah,
Looks
he's good.
He looks a lot like Josh Allen.
He's going to get drafted. He's a freshman. I don't think he'll come out this year.
He's going to be a 2-year rule.
He's going to be a top. He's going to be a top.
Actually,
five.
it's 3 years. He has to play 3 years.
Are you under the same agreement? Well, do you agree with me from what you've seen so far? He projects to probably be a top 5 pick.
Not this year, but
I mean when he does get drafted.
if he keeps going the way he's going, yes.
On the current trajectory.
If he keeps going the way he's going to win a Heisman.
I think so too, because he can run and throw.
He will win the Heisman eventually if he keeps on this trajectory that he looks like he's on.
And obviously a lot can change.
And look, it's early. It's 5-6 games in. I'll put him in can, but I'm just saying that right now he looks like that dude.
Yeah, and he does. He does.
He does. But anyway, we wouldn't come here to talk to you about that. We came here because, America's great for a lot of reasons, but you know what the biggest one is, Pete?
Please do tell.
They keep receipts. They keep them. Don't think we don't keep them. We keep them. Which, by the way, any of you guys know it's a load of shit. We throw that fucking thing out before we get to the car.
My favorite one is the CVS receipt.
Yeah.
If I'm ever out of toilet paper, I'll just buy a stick of gum at
You
CVS.
get 10 points on your... throw it out.
Roll of friggin' paper.
Throw it out.
I swear to God, they have paper rolls they have to get rid of. They bought too many
just a
of.
load of crap.
So they make it so they just print out like a foot-long receipt for you.
We're going to make them take out like a pound of paper. We might as well give them something for
Exactly.
throwing it out for us. So they give you this long ass fucking. Hey, you get 10% off on your next deal. Fuck off.
It's bad.
Like, what's 10% of what? $1, 10 cents, fucking whatever it is. Please, no. But the point is, it's in terms of receipts, a very large one was pulled out of the apparently out of the back pocket there. I guess the jeans. I guess they were in the jeans for a few months, and then before they threw them, you forgot to wash them. Oh, hey, whoa, what's this? And the wife finds it. LeBron, honey. What's this? And LeBron takes it and goes, that's for every guy, for every expert Hall of Fame player, just common sense guy on the street, accusing me of rigging this thing to get my son. You're going to rue the day. Because, LeBron is the black Donald Trump. So he's just, the fact that he thinks you believe that is just utterly ridiculous. Yeah, sure, LeBron. Our eyes have seen your son play for a year. He couldn't start on a bad team. Okay,
his agent even told other teams, "Don't pick him because the Lakers are taking him. And if you pick him, he won't play.
He won't play.
It matters. Like they were like,
and they went like this.
Don't.
And all these teams are like,
what do we do?
What do we do?
Oh no,
we can't draft Bronny. Oh, that's it. Back at the truck. We could put a koi pond over there and get a library over here. Just back at the truck.
Who I wanted to take Bronny James just because it would have been funny? The Celtics. Just to stick it up LeBron's ass again.
Just
because the best part is if you draft him, there's nothing LeBron can do. You have to be willing to trade the pick.
Until he opened his mouth, I felt sorry for Bronny. But then Bronny felt compelled to...
Oh, he had to point out that he only made it. It had nothing to do with his father. Like, there was no nepotism whatsoever.
I'm like, wow. When your father's agent confirmed that he called teams at your dad's request, I might add. Not on a whim. You know about a whim. Your dad told him to make those calls, Bronny.
The worst part of this whole thing is? The worst part of this whole thing is Jordan's kid did this. Jordan's kid was D1. Yeah. He actually was a pretty good player. He wasn't good enough to be a pro. Guess what, though? His dad didn't do him any favors. Well, I shouldn't say favors. Because putting someone in the league when they're not able to be in it so they can fall on their ass or on their face, I don't know if that's a favor. But Jordan didn't do anything to pull strings to get his son in the league. Every scout has said, every single one of them, that he needs at least a year in the G League. That's if he's even to make a team.
The same man who manipulated the Olympic Committee into benching Jason Tatum over take me up so I can enhance my legacy, and then tries to say it's not about legacy. When the whole world knows that Jason Tatum is a top 5 player, and there's no fucking way. Not Charles Barkley, not Shaquille O'Neal, not any Hall of Fame, not Magic. There's no way that kid shouldn't have played.
They just won the
Those
championship.
are coming from guys that are better than you, LeBron.
They
okay?
just won. They just first of all, let's call.
And they're the world. He's the best player on the best team.
Let's
in the world.
call a spade.
Shut
Let's
the
call a
fuck
spade
up.
a spade.
I mean,
Okay, the Olympic Committee. That whole setup was a joke. And I'm not even. I love Derek White. He's one of my favorite players. One of my favorite Celtics. I love Drew
They
Holiday.
put him in a bad
Those
spot.
guys both get put in the Olympic
And by
team
the way-
before Jaylen Brown.
And by the way, let's think about that for a minute.
How does that even happen?
This is how I know LeBron has got his fucking filthy little paws all over this, because by getting Derek White, you can create a rift in the Celtics team. This could have gone bad. Jaylen Brown, it could have, but Jaylen Brown's too fucking smart for that. Okay, and believe me, if you don't think Jaylen Brown is smart, go look up his resume. Okay,
Archie, don't forget, I live up in Boston.
Yeah.
they're already showing on the news him and Tatum Braxton together. Buddy. They're pissed and they're playing hard.
They are brothers, and this is how I know LeBron had his hands messed up, because they don't want this Celtics dynasty. The league is still bitter about the old Celtics and Red Auerbach with the cigars. That's a scar that most of these guys claim hit them, and it never did. But they don't want the Celtics.
Haven't you seen my Facebook profile pic?
Oh, I have. But they don't want the Celtics to come back.
You know what the cigar
The
is?
league was pushing the Lakers for
You know what the cigar is? It's a stinky victory.
Yeah. The league doesn't want this. They don't want a Celtic dynasty again.
Well, guess what? Bend over and take it, because it's coming right at you.
Brad Stevens and Tatum and Brown, they understand what's happening. And so does Jrue Holiday and Derek White and Al Horford and everybody else in that fucking locker room. And this is the other thing. And Tommy, the other night we did the show, the thing about Al Horford on the press conference first, and he was asked about this question about what happened with Tatum and Brown this summer, and he said, "We, as in the entire team, are incredibly pissed at how they got treated." Yeah. The whole fucking team is mad about this. You know, we always talk about the letdown after winning a title. This ain't going to happen.
No, this
This
is
ain't
first
gonna
of all,
happen.
know what the worst
This is
part
the worst
is,
thing
too?
Steve Kerr could have agreed to was this.
As much as the NBA wishes it wasn't the truth, but the Celtics are your winningest franchise.
They are.
They are your imprimatur. They are your benchmark from which everybody else is measured against. It is not the Lakers as much as you want it to be. It's not.
No.
Okay?
And as we said, and as I said last night, the logo shouldn't be Jerry West. It should be Bill Russell.
Or Larry Bird, or any other number of Celtics
But
over Jerry
it
West,
should be
who's
Bill.
1-9.
Bill, 11 rings. It's Bill.
Well,
11
I
rings in
think so.
13 years. There's nothing like it in the history of sports. That is a record that will stand. No other athlete will do what Bill Russell did. I don't care what. No one. Think about how great Tom Brady was, and he's not there.
Why not?
He
even cheated to even get there.
He tried.
He tried. I mean, shit, I'll give him an A for effort. He got close. Yeah. Give him an A for effort. 7 rings, man. That's nothing to joke
and
about.
they put the air back in. He torches the Legion of Doom. That was, hey, Roger, hold still. That's why Brady's the GOAT. Oh, I'm a what? Put all the air you want in that fucking thing. Laser show. And that wasn't cheating, boys and girls. That was the GOAT. Anyway, back to this. LaFraud, just do the world a favor and close that hole in your fucking face. The more you talk, the less relevant you become.
And the thing
It's just, at this point, it's a no. And you have to keep telling yourself, I think I'm the greatest ever. Me. I'm the greatest ever. Me.
He reminds me right now. He sounds like Angel Reese right now.
Yeah. Good call.
He does.
Tommy's not going to like that, but I don't care.
No, he's probably
I
not.
don't like that.
And
Sorry,
by the way,
Tommy. I'm telling Chiniwa you're cheating on it with Angel.
I have nothing against Angel Reese as a player. I think she's a great player, great rebounder.
Let's not overdo it, Pete.
Huh? She is a great player.
She had a good year.
I mean,
She
look
had-
at this way.
look, when you have a
If
double-double-
Caitlin Clark didn't have the year she had,
No.
Angel
But
Reese
the
would
thing
have
is-
won
is-
Rookie of the Year.
yeah,
but
the thing is,
Caitlin Clark did.
Angel Reese had a good year.
had a
Caitlin
great
Clark
No,
just
phenomenal year.
just moved the needle.
Yeah.
She moved the needle. She
She-
changed the trajectory of the league.
She did.
So it's not Angel's fault, but this is a historic rookie season that just happened. How many records did she break? Are you kidding me? And this was against defenses that were designed to stop her, and she went to a team that missed the playoffs.
But remember, the league, the reason the NBA got popular was also because of it.
Bird and Magic.
Because of it. No, the WNBA
Oh.
got popular because of Angel Reese, too. Just ask her.
She'll tell you.
She did.
She will.
She did tell us.
Angel Reese will not disagree with you on that.
She will
on that
not.
Point. No, she
No.
will not. I mean, but the problem with 66-1 is that Angel Reese would have been better off if it was 67-0 because now 66-1 and went first. It was like, oh, well, they gave a sympathy vote to Angel. That looks even worse.
It does.
That looks even fucking worse. The donkey that made that vote. And the thing is, we'll never know.
I can already tell you who it is. It's Cheryl Swoops.
Did she have a vote?
I don't know if she did. It was her.
We have to look at. You know what though? We should find out who was the ones who voted for this.
I've already looked online. Everyone's asking that question.
Yeah, who voted?
They're not gonna.
You'll never know.
We get better luck at getting Epstein's list than we do at getting that.
You'll better luck finding Hoffa.
Yeah, Hoffa, exactly. You want to know what that list is? It's right next to Hoffa.
Yeah,
and,
that's where it is.
Yep, that's exactly where it is.
You will never know the donkey that did that unless that person has the
That's where Kennedy's brain
and
the magic bullet are.
And by the way,
same place.
Anyone that cares about that person is going, don't you dare tell them you did this. Yeah. You're done if you tell them you did this. Because everybody's like, hey, why did you make that vote?
Yeah.
And then you're going to have to tell the truth. And that's going to be awful because you can't give a sane reason for your decision.
There isn't one.
There's
no basketball reason.
There's no basketball reason at all to vote for Angel Reese over Caitlin Clark. And just it's embarrassingly funny. And for all those Angel Reese backers, they have to suck it sideways today, and I love it. And they have to shove it. And the best part for me is, look, you got one sympathy vote. Isn't that cute? That's so cute. That cute. Did her mother call it? That cute.
It's like you said. It's more embarrassing.
It's more embarrassing.
It actually, what it looks like, it doesn't even look like they were trying to help Angel Reese. Mm-hmm. It looks like they just didn't want to give Caitlin Clark the unanimous.
They didn't want to give her
she
the credit.
deserved.
It was Molly Karen. Molly's that bitter. She's still mad that they took out UConn. And I love Paige Beckers. Paige Beckers is my favorite player.
Who are the people who get to vote on? Isn't it sports writers? Nobody usually is?
It's got to be.
It's usually the media.
There's probably the coaches. The coaches got to be in there, I think. Because they're on the floor.
I know it's when it
Who
comes
better than the coaches?
Well, look at this way. We know when it comes to All-Star games and it comes to Hall of Fame voting, that's sports writers. They get like a what do you call it? The pass.
The pass. Yeah.
Like Maz has that.
Yeah,
Tony Maz.
Yeah, for baseball, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame vote. He gets one.
Yeah. So, and I don't know how you qualify for that. I guess you apply.
It's got to be something with the press, though. I know that because there's a bunch of sports writers, which means press.
But honestly, he and I could. Batman couldn't find this out.
No.
Batman's the world's greatest detective. He couldn't solve this. You'll get nothing out of it. No. Picture Batman beating the Joker, and the Joker's still laughing at him. He's pound. That's this. It'll never happen. Nope. I will never tell you.
So basically, we got in this whole thing because we're talking about LeBron and his receipts. He's got to collect them because the league.
No. He's got them.
He's got them.
All of them.
So let me get this straight.
$8 billion.
you did literally nothing to improve your team except to add your son, and you didn't make the playoffs last year, and you're a year older.
And you hired JJ Redick.
As your basketball coach. What receipts are you going to show us? That you saved a bundle and not having to pay for playoff seats this year? Is that the receipts?
Oh my God! Do you understand the size of the mushroom cloud we're talking about here in LA when this thing goes boom?
Are you kidding me, dude? It's scorched earth. It might even, something, the San Andreas fault might crack because of this.
Yeah,
it might fall into the sea.
Half of California might fall into the sea.
It might.
Which would be a shame because I really like SoFi Stadium. I do. It's a wonderful facility.
It is beautiful,
it's
even
beautiful.
though they don't have any real fans.
No, they don't, but it's not the fans. It's the building, though. Itself is state of the art, I got to tell you.
It is.
It'd be a shame to have to dig it up or pull it out of the drink.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that self-proclaimed greatest of all time had to use his influence, and then his son goes on after the lawyer admits to it and goes, my success is in no way tied to my father.
So since we're talking,
it's like, have you ever weard of this guy?
Since we're talking early here about LeBron's receipts, who are you? Other than I know the Celtics, obviously, are the perennial
Celtic
favorite.
carrying receipts.
Who are you liking to get out of the West this year? Or early? I know it's wicked early. I get it. I know it is. But.
Do you
have a preseason for the West?
See, the thing is, the popular pick is Denver because of Jokic, but they've lost.
Beats. They got
last
beats so
year.
easy.
They lost their first two top bench players, and now they lost a starter this offseason. They're not the same Nugget team.
No, but the team that beat them, just got rid of the big guy that helped do it.
Well, this is the thing. John Randall is a multiple-time All-Star. He averages 25.
I think he's a better player than Cap, but he's a different player.
DiVincenzo, who's a good player off the bench, plays. He's a 3-point sniper. He can play D.
I know.
That's a good. The Knicks were pissed that he was involved in this trade. The fans were. I got two of them. Tom's one of them. That was the one problem. They didn't want to give up DiVincenzo. because
No.
he's like the catalyst.
He's like a red. He's kind of redheaded.
He's
isn't
like the sick. Yeah, he's a tough motherfucker. He's like the catalyst off that bench. They were pissed about that. So, you know,
Do you like Denver out of the West?
no, I like Dallas because they had Clay.
Oh, they did.
Clay can
the
still-
only problem with Clay, though, I don't know how good Clay is right now.
Well, this is the thing with those two out there. He's got to stand there and shoot.
Yeah, but is he old Clay
doesn't-
still? If he is, yeah,
Well,
great for Dallas.
he's gonna have to just do less.
So is there? What
Hey, Clay, can
injury
you just
did he-
come here
What
and
injury
shoot?
did he get? Was it an was it
He
ACL?
had two
or was
leg
it
issues.
Yeah, but were they tears?
They were tears. Yeah.
So he's down on some speed. He ain't the same
He's a
defensive
shell.
player.
He was never a good defensive
So he's
player.
not held. So
Clay
you're-
Thompson never made an all-defensive team. Never did.
So do you think
So-
that really helped Dallas that much? They already could shoot. They couldn't play D.
I'll tell you why it helped because he is still one of the all-time greatest shooters that ever lived.
Is.
And if all he has to do is stand in the corner and shoot, because he's going to be wide open with those two. This is the thing. He's probably going to get more open looks than when KD and Steph were together out there, because when they were doing their thing, and he was all alone. It'll be like that all over again.
Well, look at this.
It
The
will.
only reason I'm curious, and once again, it's preseason,
But-
we won't know until we see him play, obviously, is I just was shocked that Golden State let him go, which that tells me they either
Well, he
it
doesn't-
ain't the money because they paid into the cap every time. They have the
He
money.
was the second best player on that team. He's not going to be even the third best player on this team.
I know.
He'll
But-
just be a sniper.
But
that's-
what I'm
but-
wondering is that
but-
enough to put them past
Well, they
the
lost.
Nuggets?
One of the reasons that what they're looking at is the box. I know what Jason Kidd's doing. He's looking at the box score of the finals against the Celtics, and every time he runs into that stat, 3-pointers made and attempted between, it's a mismatch.
Yeah, big time.
They didn't have enough firepower to stay with the Celtics. That's how he sees it.
Yeah, but
That's why
he's got to
Clay-
see the
but that-
defensive drop off between the teams. Though it's close.
But again, he's looking at these numbers because he's saying to himself, as good a defensive team as the Celtics were, a lot of those he believes we missed were wide open. Well, you know why you missed those? Because not only are you being played by the Celtics, but also you have to guard the Celtics on the other end.
My point exactly.
So it's a two-part problem. But he's looking at, how do I fix that one, that particular problem? Clay Thompson will help fix that problem right away because he can still do that. And if that's all he has to do, which in Golden State that was never all he had to do, except for those 2 years with KD.
Yeah.
But KD left, and then he had to go back to being the second best player on the team again. That means you have to do everything.
No,
You can't
I
just
get
be a
it.
one-trick pony. On this team, though, that's all he has to be.
Yeah, and the thing is, and you like you said, it's from the West.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why if that is the best team to come out of the West,
Well,
you could be right.
It's them. Minnesota's intriguing because of what they just did.
Intriguing, yeah.
'Cause
I
they
don't know,
feel-
I don't
they-
know if that made them better or not
No,
till they play.
but they feel
that.
that, well, if you think about it, on paper, they match up better now with Dallas.
I think they do.
They're
I think Randall is a better player than Carl
They're
Anthony
looking
Towns.
at Dallas, and everybody. And my question was, well, but why are they? This is the thing about the West. These teams were all making moves based on who was a pogo stick ahead of them, or the hurdle in front of them. And for Minnesota, obviously it's Dallas. For Denver, it's Minnesota. So Denver's looking at this, or Minnesota's looking back at Denver because they know that they're going to, how do we beat them now? But they've lost another starter. They didn't replace the first two. Denver's weaker now than they were last year.
I know.
They are.
You know what's funny? The
They are.
Celtics actually could win it easier this year if that's even possible because the record. I know the record's hard to beat because 16-3 is hard. That's just hard. But they may have an easier time because the teams actually go weaker. Some teams go weaker than they're playing against.
This is a different. There's two things going on here. One, Stevens' ability to fill out this roster. They are the deepest team in the league.
Yeah, he had a great draft.
That's the first thing. The second thing is what happened to Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum this offseason. And the fact that the entire Celtics team is taking it personally. There'll be no letdown. They may even come at them harder.
I think
they might even come after opponents harder now. Because they were, to a man, they're pissed. They
first
feel
of
like,
all,
because they're family.
and they're pissed, and they know they can win it now
Yeah.
because they've done it. Once you lose the shadow
Once you
of doubt,
get that thing off your back.
yeah, you drop the monkey, and if you're
It's
good enough,
easier.
it does.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the game slows down.
Because now you don't wonder if we can do it. Oh, you ran through the league. Not only did you
Well,
do it.
also too, think
So-
about how they ran through the league. They played team basketball. They
Yeah.
really did.
He brought, and this is where I love Brad Stevens. He made sure to bring back that entire core. He didn't let one of the top 8 go.
Do you blame him? I mean,
No, but a lot of guys would have let a Hauser go. Nope, he kept him because of what Hauser did in the finals against Dallas. Did you see what he did? He beat up fucking Doncic,
I know.
and then he stole the ball from one time. He actually went at him. I'm like, okay, yeah. I never knew he would do. I didn't think he had that in him. Okay, but he did.
Look at this way. Who said it? I think it was Drew Holiday when he came here.
Yeah.
Well, one of the coaches said, he goes, "Wow, the Celtics, even the white guys play defense in that team."
But
I thought it was hysterical. He's like, the white guys play D. It's
No,
not
the
just
question.
the whole team plays
The
D.
question was because Drew's known. That's his staple. Is a great defender, and they were asking about what makes this Celtics defense so special. And he's like, well, and he said one thing and two things, and he goes, and the other thing that even the white guys play defense here.
They do. They
And
do.
he said it.
Pritchard is good on D.
He said it in all seriousness because a lot of white guys around this league, because most of them are European, don't play defense.
And they're either not as athletic or don't give a shit.
What I
It's one
keep
or the other.
telling, this is what I keep trying to tell these idiots that keep trying to tell me about this era of basketball. They changed the rules so that Europe could play. Europe couldn't play in the Dream Team era. No one. Ask Tony Kukoc about his indoctrination to the NBA.
No, Jesus, my God.
And he was the best player in Europe.
He got
They
shellacked
bent him over.
by Jordan and Pippen.
That was a prison cell bum blasting.
Yeah.
That's
No,
what
it was-
Pippen and Jordan did to him in that game was a prison cell. Okay, so and when it wasn't those two, it was Magic. When it wasn't Magic, it was Bark. It wasn't Bark, it was Bird. It was Robin. They just however they wanted to kill you, they killed you. You couldn't do a damn thing about it. Except, can I get a picture with you when it's over?
Yeah.
So I can say I was part of this. I was in there into this ass kicking and I lived to tell the tale. I mean, this era is not like that. It's not the players in Europe are better. We're playing a European style game.
Well, yeah, but you know something?
We adapted to them. We never made them adapt to us.
Yeah, but you know what the Celtics did?
And that was David Stern's
Actually,
doing. And that was where
actually,
David Stern screwed up.
You know who did? The Celtics did. Because the Celtics played the way what America was known for. We've always been, we know we're better on offense, but now Europe is kind of caught up, at least shooting wise. Defense is really why we were the best. Like when you saw the Dream Team, nobody could score on us. It was, I mean, I know we were going to score every time on offense, but defensively we smoked everybody.
What I was explaining to Joel was, and John Stockton is the all-time leader in steals, and no one even talks about it.
I know he is.
They had a perimeter of Jordan, Stockton, and Pippen at one point. And they had Bird at the 4, and Bird made through all defensive teams as a rebounder, and he averaged 2 steals a game.
Yeah, but
He's the 4, and then you have David Robinson or Ewing, one of these all-time great shot blockers behind him.
And also, then you have Karl Malone come in, who's 6'11" at power forward, and he's a top 5 all-time scorer.
I mean, and then you got and Clyde. Don't kid yourself. Clyde Drexler is as athletic as fuck. When he
Clyde Drexler might be a top 3 shooting guard of all time.
He might be. That dude rivaled Jordan athletically.
He did.
And there weren't many people that ever you can say that. He's one of them. So that was that team, and but then David Stern, if he wanted the world to catch up, so what did we start doing? We started adapting FIBA rules and things like this, and no hand checking, and the Euro step, and all this other garbage. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And it became a global game, which I'm grateful that it did. But we sacrificed our game to do it.
Yeah,
we did.
But once again, though, I think a lot of it just has to do with the culture in America has changed. The way the basketball's played up and down, from top to bottom. It's not the same game.
This is why the Celtics are so nice to see.
They are. They are.
Because
if you're a basketball,
they're a throwback in a lot of ways.
If you're a purist, a basketball purist, the Celtics are a breath of fresh air in this league. Yeah. Because the way they play defense and the way they play team ball, they make 3 passes. I know it's still a 3-point shot a lot of times. And I know that's just the league we're in today, but they still make 3 passes. They make the right decisions. And the one thing I love about Derek White and Drew Holiday, have you ever seen those guys take a bad shot? When I say a bad shot, one that wasn't the right shot in the moment.
It's rare.
It's like, all right.
Marcus Smart, you could set your watch by it.
I know. You could.
And people are saying, there's talk, by the way, about, we're going to take a break in a minute, but last thing I want to close with Marcus Smart, there was rumors that Memphis may trade him. And among the teams were the New York Knicks, and who is Boston's chief rival now in the East. They're number 2 to Boston right now. If they got Marcus Smart, what would the Celtics fans feel like? I don't care. He's 2 steps removed from us. I don't care. Because I know what Marcus Smart will do when it's
other
pressure.
than playing us head to head. I wish him well.
Yeah, I wish him well.
Because Marcus Smart was one of my favorite Celtics. He
But
played hard.
I'm not worried about Marcus Smart.
Look, you got to look at the way you have to look.
Because I know him as Marcus.
Yeah, but the way you got to look at Marcus Smart, if you're a Celtics fan, if you were a true fan of Marcus Smart, we had to move on from him. Yep. We needed a better fit. He wasn't the right fit. That's all.
He wasn't smart enough on offense. That's the simple answer. He would always make the wrong decision at the wrong time. And it usually was him shooting a 3 when he's not the best 3-point shooter. He wasn't even the 3rd option.
I don't put all of the blame on Smart.
No.
I put it more on Tatum and Brown. because they were supposed to be the guys in charge. It was their team. It was never Smart's team.
Well,
it was theirs.
They didn't
and removing Smart was absolutely necessary so they could take the team.
They weren't going to win with him as the leader.
I agree. That's why they had to make that move. But I don't blame.
Because he doesn't know how to do
this
that.
way. There was nothing about Marcus Smart's hustle game. When I say game, the way he played, I didn't love.
Once he won that Defensive Player of the Year,
he started to lose.
The next year, he went down 2 notches.
But you remember the year he did win it?
Yeah, but he was great until he won it.
I know.
The second he got that award, the very next year, he went down 2 levels.
But what I'm saying is, I'm trying to give him. I'm trying to give him his flowers. I'm just being honest. Like, I mean, there have been many a Marcus Smart game where he won for the Celtics.
I will never question his heart and his hustle.
I give him.
I always question this.
Yeah.
It was never heart. It was never hustle. Let's be clear. But I'm real big on this. Okay,
but do you remember
this is either going to get you championships or it's going to prevent you from winning them.
But
and that's
remember,
what was happening.
was it 2 or 3 years ago when we beat 3 years ago when we beat the Brooklyn Nets in the first round?
Swept them.
Marcus Smart was awesome.
Jason Tatum was awesome.
He was, but Jason Tatum was supposed to be awesome.
Kicked Kevin Durant's ass from pillar to post.
Which was all, but that
he
was
blocked his shot multiple. Remember this shit?
I know.
He wiped his ass with Kevin Durant.
But do you remember the play?
Wiped his ass.
Do you remember the first? Do you remember the first
game?
How we won it?
Yeah,
it was a Marcus Smart pass.
It was 4 passes and Marcus.
Yeah,
it was beautiful.
It was beautiful. That's what I mean. I give him his flowers for the stuff he did for the Celtics. He made a lot of great plays for the Celtics.
He did.
There was a point in time where us as Celtics fans were like, we can't even play without Marcus Smart because we were missing that many things. The team's just built right now. That's all it is. It's built correctly.
Well, Brad Stevens never stood pat. He kept going until he found the right formula.
And by the way, getting rid of Marcus Smart, make no mistake about it, that took balls. It did. It was a risk because you got Porzingis, who's an injury-prone, great player.
All-star.
You don't know what he's going to do, though. And we were talking about all year. We were nervous about what's going to happen if he plays or he doesn't play. And the Celtics actually surprised us because when he didn't play, we still kicked everyone's ass.
Well, they had depth.
They did.
Stevens did. He did an excellent job of building out literally 7 through 12.
The scary thing is, though, I know you remember.
And Al Horford is the modern day 6-man.
We went 60-3 in the playoffs. How many games did if you had the total? What was it, maybe 6 games total? Porzingis played.
He played in the
first round.
He got knocked out in game 3 of the first round. Yeah, 3.
Game 3.
So he played the first 2 games.
Didn't he play the first game of one of the series? He helped us win it in the second round or third.
The finals.
It was the finals. Yeah.
He won game 1 for us in the finals.
But then he didn't play again.
No, he played game 2. He had 12 points and 4 rebounds and 2 blocks, and then he got hurt in the second quarter.
All right, then he
was tearing it up again.
He was. Yeah.
And then he went down. They still won the game. They went to Dallas. They go up 3-0 because Tatum erupts, and then game 4, Dallas gets their 1 win, and they blow Boston out of the gym because Boston was already on the fucking plane.
We came back.
The thing is, Brad Stevens understands that when you have 2 superstars, you start them and you finish them, but in between you have to rotate them. You have to have 4 guys around whichever guy you got on the floor at a given time. He has been masterful, and no one talks about this, about putting players around them. So when Jalen's on the floor, the offense runs the way Jalen would run it. When Tatum's on the floor without him, then it's how Tatum would run it, because they run it in different ways.
Yeah, they do.
And Brad Stevens understood this. And when you look at these guys fit, they just all fit.
Yeah, but you notice how much more cohesion that Brown and Tatum are now playing with together now that Smart is gone and we've added Drew Holiday and Derek White.
Derek White and Drew Holiday were the best 2 things that ever happened. They were the best 2 things to ever happen to Tatum and Brown.
They are.
Because they are willing superstars, they are unselfish superstars, and they know at the end of the day, they're okay with, those 2 are the guys, but I can still be a guy.
They're silent superstars.
Yeah.
Like, the only reason people know who Derek White is right now is because he won a championship and now he's an Olympian. He came out of nowhere. Basically, but he's one of the best.
He was a good player. He was
ever.
a good defensive player. Remember where he came from? San Antonio Popovich.
Yeah,
that was no accident.
Where did he finish in shot blocks?
Was
he second in the whole league?
He led all guards in shot blocks.
He led all the guards, but I think he was second in the whole league.
No, he was in the top 10.
You sure it wasn't 2?
He wasn't number 2.
I think he was number 2 for a while. Maybe it wasn't at the end of the year. But
he was number 1 for guards all year.
Yeah,
he finished in the top 10 though. Block shots.
How many times has he clipped a guard from behind and go? I mean, he just does it.
Him and Drew Holiday. And again, I always say Drew Holiday is the modern day Dennis Johnson. He really is.
Yeah,
and Derek White is starting to remind me a lot of Joe Dumars.
Yeah.
He's starting to remind me a
And by the
lot
way,
of him.
Derek,
bigger.
Derek White is incredibly clutch too. He hits big shots.
Yeah, he's not afraid of the moment.
No, he's not. And
That's
by the
why-
way, neither is Pritchard.
And that's why
neither is Hauser.
Peyton Pritchard, by the way.
Peyton Pritchard is a freaking stud off the bench.
That dude he's got a different.
He's got another gear.
He's another old school dude.
Yeah,
He
but
really
he's got
is.
at his
Yeah.
size. He's got another gear.
But I remember watching him at Oregon. He was so fucking good. I couldn't believe we got him. And then we played him the first year. The second year we didn't play him, which pissed me off. So
Yeah, we played him this year, and
played him last year, and then this kid is
dude,
really,
we literally put him in for a half court shot because he hits him, and he did.
He hit it.
He hit it.
Dodge, there's no
I'm
defense
like, we
playing
put him
thing.
in for a half
The
court
one
shot.
time Dodgers contest a shot. The guy hits it from 48. Oh my God, it was beautiful. I was fucking laughing. Like, you'll never see Dodgers contest a shot again. Because
Nope.
Dodgers is so dumb. He'll go to his coach and go, see?
Yeah, exactly.
The guy hit a half court buzzer beater on me. Come on, man.
That was Dodgson, too.
Yeah.
It was.
That was what a donkey. And so I call him the Pillsbury Doughboy. But anyway, so they have the perfect nucleus. They have chemistry. They have cohesion. And now they have motive.
And also,
They have
you and me
motive.
talked about this a little bit yesterday, but we talked about it in the past. That now, I think anyway, I think they have a great coaching staff,
They do.
top to bottom. I
And in
think
closing, we're going to break for the pick and come back. But in closing, I would just like to say, LeBron, you can have your receipts. I assure you, we are keeping ours. Segment 2, NFL pick segment coming right up.